Hey everybody, alright, so today for Gearbox Review we're going to be taking a look at the Big Agnes Fly Creek HVUL2. Here we go.
Tent stakes. Almost forgot the footprint.
I found all the pieces to my tent. I'm going to go ahead and pack it up on my pack, take it for a little walk, give it some authenticity. Enjoy this montage. Alright, yeah, I've just been passing through this camp area, just making my way into the wilderness. Gonna be finding a place to camp. It's not gonna be here. Don't camp here. Not allowed. So, just gonna go off, find some place to camp for the night. This'll do. The Fly Creek is a 3-season double-walled semi-freestanding tent. It comes out of the box at 2 pounds 5 ounces. If you ditch some of the stuff sacks and repair components, you can shave a couple of ounces. There are 5 main components: the footprint, the tent body, rain fly, the poles, and the stakes. I usually carry at least 10 aluminum stakes, and I'll explain that a little later. There are 3 ways you can set it up. You can set it up traditionally for rain, like you see here. You can also set it up just as the bug bivvy, which I'll show at the end of this. And if you have the Fly Creek footprint, you can also just set it up with the rain fly and the footprint for what Big Agnes calls the fast fly configuration. All the seams are taped, and it's not necessary to apply any aftermarket treatments. I found that the components are easy to pack up and the material dries really quickly. There are additional integrated guy outs and guy lines provided to add support in inclement weather. I found the Fly Creek is average in shedding the wind unless you set it up properly in the prevailing wind conditions or take refuge behind this boulder. It does perform satisfactory in light snow loads, but do keep in mind this is a 3-season tent, so it's not really designed for winter type expeditions.
There you have it.
We got my tent all set up. This is the Big Agnes Fly Creek HVUL2. I bought this tent in 2018 on the Appalachian Trail at the NOC, so I've used this tent through a majority of my Appalachian Trail hike. I also used this on my bike tour that I rode from Seattle down to San Diego. That was about 44 days that I also used this tent. So it's seen a lot of action and it's still going strong. So through my time using this tent, I've been able to find the limitations of it, the things that I like, the things that I don't. So let's take a look. The first thing that I do like is this big vestibule area. It's got enough room to fit a backpack. It is a front entry type tent. There's enough room in there to fit all your things out in front of the tent when it starts to rain. All right, cool. Another thing that I really enjoy about this tent is just the interior volume. So right now I'm just sitting in the front of the tent and I'm sitting cross-legged. I'm about 6 foot. And I've still got plenty of room up above my head as I'm sitting here, work on things here in the vestibule, get my things organized, maybe cook a little food, just sit here and watch it rain. In here, so not too bad. Plenty of room to lay out. But looking at the interior volume, this is one thing that I don't really care for, is that it's pretty tight for 2 people. Okay, my biggest critique of this tent is the way that you have to pitch it. So it is marketed as a semi-freestanding tent. It does still have the tent pole structure, but it relies on the tent stakes for a majority of the structural strength. And the biggest concern is these stakes here at the foot. And the reason I say that these stakes are of particular importance is because more often than not, I see people will take and they will stake their rain fly to the same stake that they use to stake out the foot end of the bug net. All right, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when these are not staked out at different spots, then what happens is that when there's rain or condensation or any moisture on this rain fly, then what happens is it'll start to rest on the foot end of the bug netting. Now this bug netting is not waterproof. It'll start to wick all of that moisture from the rain fly into the bug netting, and then more likely than not into your sleeping bag. So that's been one infuriating thing that I've had to learn about this tent. So I'd say kind of keeping that in mind, the problem with the moisture wicking into the bug netting. The bug netting is, in my experience, has not been waterproof, so it's super important that you get some type of ground cloth. If that's the footprint that Big Agnes is going to sell you, or if it's going to be a piece of Tyvek or polychiro or whatever the case might be, but it's absolutely necessary that you get a footprint so you don't get all that ground moisture wicking up into the bottom of that bug net and totally ruining your time. So some parting thoughts as I'm packing up. This is a really solid modular double-walled tent that is lightweight and packs away really well. It's really great for one person plus gear, and I suppose that you could also pack your dog. And here it is in its bug mode. The one thing I like about this tent a lot is its modularity. It's good for the rain. If you're not expecting any precipitation or condensation, then in the bug mode it's really nice for the bug protection, everything else like that. It's super light just as it is. A couple of downsides is that it is tight for two. It is difficult to pitch both in the rain, and the moisture mitigation can be an issue unless you have everything staked out properly. The biggest downside of this tent configuration is that it's expensive. $350 for the tent itself, plus like $60 for the footprint, putting the total cost over $400. There are a lot of really great durable lightweight tents on the market. This was one that I bought out of necessity. The configuration that I had on the Appalachian Trail wasn't going to make the cut. So while I've had this tent, I've used it over 200 nights and it's still going strong. I've just applied a little bit of seam seal to some areas that have received some abrasion. I do plan on using this tent until it completely falls apart and becomes unusable, but when it does come time to replace this tent, I do intend to buy something else.